Right, I promised you all to show you how to darn, and I'm hoping I can do this in one take. Now, a lot of people use a darning mushroom. I actually find them a lot of trouble, but if you can get a tiny embroidery hoop, you might find that easier. I haven't got a sock with a hole in it, so I'm just going to do a darn on this. I can take it out after. I use embroidery thread because I find it's easier to thread the needle, and you will need a needle with a big eye. Doesn't matter whether that's sharp or blunt. You can use knitter's needles or tapestry needles, as long as the eye is big enough to thread whatever you're using. Some people use wool, but bear in mind it shrinks. Now, the purpose of darning is you can see a darn there that I've already done. And what you're actually doing is you're replacing a hole with a weave. So, I'm going to start there. And I'm going to do a very small one because I don't want to take too long. Right, and pull it through there. And I go up and in. Hopefully you can see that because I'm getting it caught up. Now, I was taught to do this when I was at school by my matron, a Mrs. Brain Nichols, who I suspect is long in her grave. But if you're not Mrs. Brain Nichols, I remember you and your lack of kneecaps with enormous fondness and grateful thanks for teaching me how to darn a sock. What I'm doing now is I'm setting up the threads. I'm doing this very, very wide so that you can see what I'm doing. You just do it like that, and you do it like that, and up. And I'm setting up the warp threads to weave. Now, when you practice, obviously your hole would be there. And you'd do it as tightly as you can manage. And you know what? The great thing about darns is that mostly they're on your toes and your heels, and it's unlikely that people will see them. So I never worry about matching colours. You can if you want to, but you know what? I find using brightly coloured embroidery thread is really easy. Now, here we go. I'm only doing it on 4, so you can clearly see what I'm doing. I'm going round a corner here. Now, I'm setting up the threads to go the other way right now. Right? And I go over and under and over and under. Make a loop at the end to bring it out. And I make a loop at the end and I go over and over and under in the opposite direction. And you keep doing that. I think you can see. So on this thread I've gone under it and over it, and I'm going to repeat that through here. I'm going to go over, and I'm not touching the fabric here because I'm assuming that's a bloody great big hole there. And under and in and out, and there you go. It's a little bit difficult to see, but I think you can see what I'm doing, and that is the basic of a darn. And you just make it as big so that it's as wide there, and then you set in your threads, and when you do it for real, you do it as closely as you can possibly manage to stop your toe popping out or your heel popping out. It's not difficult. It can be a bit fiddly at first, but be patient, take your time, and you'll get the hang of it. And it will save you a bloody fortune, and it can look really funky when you take your shoes off.